Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist with Couch Commentary. Today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about something from a psychological perspective that is going on in the culture, as I always do when I do Couch Commentary. Today, the topic is what is going on social media and body image and eating disordered content. So, first, here's the deal, and then we'll talk about why it matters. All right. Reuters shared some information this week in a report that internal research from Meta Platforms found that teenagers who felt bad about their bodies, they had been exposed to significantly higher rates of body image and disordered eating content on Instagram compared to peers. Okay. So, what this means is that Meta Platforms found that they, obviously have access and data to show what people are looking at, what videos they're seeing, what images they're looking at. And they have data to show that people who, teenagers specifically, are reporting feeling bad about their body are also viewing more disordered eating and body image content. And that makes total sense for anybody who has scrolled through Instagram, especially some of the influencers and some of those that are most well known. People will often wonder, wait a minute, has that photo been doctored? What sort of filters are at work there? But here's the problem. Teenagers are at a very impressionable stage of life psychologically. Teenagers are in full identity development. Just think for yourself watching this about your own life history. Think about who you were at 13. All right. Think about who you thought you were, what you wanted other people to think about you. Think if you were 13, kind of what group you would want people to think that you're a part of. What adjectives, when you were 13, would you have cared the most about wanting people to assign to you? What adjectives to describe yourself would have been the most important to you at 13? Think about that at 13 versus 18. Those adjectives would be different. And then just imagine, fast forward now, if you're years later from that point of teenage years, think about how different your identity is today, what matters to you. And here's the most important thing, what you value about yourself. See, here's one of the problems. Teenagers at that impressionable stage of identity development are trying to figure out what their value is, what matters to them, what people will love them for, what will give them attention, maybe what will give them respect. They're trying to figure out all of this in those teenage years. So it matters if a young person is looking and seeing so much content on Instagram, for example, that is, like Reuters called it, disordered eating adjacent. Well, this can have a psychological impact, and it can have an impact in many different ways. It can make people feel very skewed about what's possible for them, for their own body, for their own attractiveness, what they should look like, what they feel like their body should be. And the word should brings so many adults into therapy later in life. Some of these old beliefs that we have about who we should be, what we should be like. So it's really important. This is why I know some parents really try to be very, very careful and restrict the hours that their kids have access to social media. I was talking to someone the other day as an example, and they have a seventh grade child, and that seventh grade child doesn't have a phone. And their parent was sharing with me they were doing this because they're terrified of what might happen once they start having access to a phone, and how it could, of course, lead to a changed identity, changed values for this young person. So, something to think about. This is a new report from Reuters and internal research from Meta. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist.